Hello, crafty friends. This is Leah Lawson, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am thrilled to be joining Pretty Pink Posh for their November release video hop, which is a fantastic winter release. There's a ton of inspiration and prizes to be won, and you can get all of the details you need in my video description. But let's get right into my card because we have a ton to do. So I am starting with the new Layered Penguins stencil set. This is about the cutest set I have ever seen, and I knew that it had to be the very first thing that I inked up and created with. So I am starting with stencil number 1, and I am ink blending in all of those cute little penguin bodies with licorice ink, which is a really dark gray. It almost leans towards black, but once it dries and really soaks into the cardstock, it's more of a dark gray tone. Once I completed the blending with the larger brush, I came back in with a smaller brush just to really get that ink into the nooks and crannies of those little penguins where I felt like that bigger brush just didn't get to very well. This is a great thing about having all of the different sizes of brushes available to you. It really helps you add gradation and really get into all of the openings of your stencils. Well, here is a first look. I mean, they're already so adorable, and we're just going to keep adding more to them. So this is stencil number 2. You've got the bodies of the penguins, which we are going to tackle here in a little bit, but I am using the new Pastel Blizzard clay confetti mix to dictate my colors. So I've picked some soft tones in purple, aqua, and pink, and I am just randomly ink blending in those adorable little snowflakes in the background. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just picking snowflakes here and there to ink blend in the different tones. Now, if you don't know me very well, I am a huge fan of snowflakes for winter and Christmas cards. They're one of my favorite things that I reach for when it comes to seasonal type cards. So I'm a big fan of this set. I love those cute little snowflakes in the background, and combining them with an adorable penguin, I mean, it can't get much better than that, right? So almost done with all of the snowflakes. I'm using, once again, just some smaller brushes to really get in there and get that color transferred in. So now I'm going to very, very lightly blend in some very light gray into the penguin gut bodies. Pardon me. I want this to look a little bit more like a shadow layer versus an actually fully ink blended layer. That's why I chose such a light ink, and I'm blending so lightly. I didn't want to lose that look of white. I just didn't want it to be so stark white. Now finally, we're coming in with the last stencil. This is the details on the penguins. So the eyes, the nose, and the feet. And I have a black here and an orange. I was going to start with the black, but then I changed my mind. And I'm going to go in with a super, super tiny brush. This is a 1/4 inch brush. And that is basically allowing me to not have to mask anything. But I'm going in with that orange ink on the little noses of all of the penguins first. Then I'm going to come in with a little bit of a larger brush and work on all of the feet of the penguin. The feet are a little bit further away from the eyes and the nose. So that larger brush still works, and you don't run the risk of accidentally getting that orange ink anywhere else. Then finally, we have just the eyes. Now, my stencil penguins are going to look like they have big black eyes on the stencil, but when all is said and done and we have all of that really very jet black ink daubed in there, look at how cute this turned out. And I just love how their cute little black eyes just pop. So now that we're done with the ink blending, it's time to do all of the die cutting. So we are going to create a fun little penguin shaker today. So this is the new penguin shaker die set, and it's so cute. So we need that main background from both black and clear acetate, but then we'll also need the whole outline from black. We want the body from white, we also want the eyes from black, and then we want the feet and the nose from orange. Now, I'm also using those brand new notched rectangles, And we are going to make a frame from the two largest cut from ivory glitter. And then finally, this is a previously released product. It's the Big Holiday Cupcake. I'm just going to be using the bow, and we're going to cut that from some pink. So I did all of the die cutting off camera. And now is the time to do just a little bit of assembly. I'm using a grip mat because I find that sometimes it's just easier to have something to grip the pieces when you are trying to glue together small die cut pieces. So I am gluing together the bow, and now I am just adding the center. I love the different pieces of this. Now you could totally cut it from different colored cardstock, but I just decided to keep it simple and cut it from the one. And I love how even from one color, it gives it so much added dimension. We also need to add the eyes and the nose to the little penguin body, so I went ahead and did that as well. And then finally, we need to finish off the bow with its cute little tails. I'm just lining them up where I feel like they go best, and I am gluing that bow down to the front. So how cute is that tiny little bow? My penguin nose popped off when I went to pull the bow off the grip mat, so no harm, no foul. Just needed a little extra glue and all was good. So let's start to assemble the shaker. Now, you could use a double-sided tape adhesive for this, but I have just found that liquid glue works so much easier to adhere the outline die to the acetate. So that is my choice. Now, sometimes the glue does seep under a little bit, but the great thing about liquid glue is it dries clear. So in the end, not a big deal. I set a clear stamp block on it just to get that to set up. And then once it was set up, it's now time to add the thin foam strips. Now, I've shared this before, but I'll just give the tip or the tidbit of info one more time. If you remove the release paper from your thin foam strip, it makes it super easy to curve along cute little shaker elements like this. Paulina releases a ton of adorable shakers, and sometimes they are pretty curvy. And this little tip makes it so much easier to create these little shaker elements. Now, off camera, I added a second layer. I figured you didn't need to see that again. And now I'm going to fill up the shaker with that Pastel Blizzard clay confetti mix. And then I felt like it needed a little something else, so I grabbed my big vat of glitter, and I'm going to put a spoonful of glitter in it to really make it sparkle and shine. Now, time to back the shaker so all of the filling stays in there. Make sure you have a nice good seal on your foam tape before you shake. And then here is another little tip. If you find that you have little possible gaps or areas where some of your shaker mix could come out, for me that would only be the glitter. The clay confetti wouldn't be able to fit through those little areas. You can just go ahead and add some liquid glue into them and you seal them right up. So I am gluing the penguin body directly to the front, and then she, of course, needs a little bow. I don't want to cover up her eyeballs, so I am just trying to strategically place that bow, so that you can still see her cute little eyes. And if that isn't the cutest shaker, I don't know what is. And I almost forgot her feet. So I popped back in, added some liquid glue, and went and put her cute little orange feet to finish her off. No harm, no foul, but don't forget all of your elements. I mean, black feet would have been fine, but I think the orange feet are so much cuter. So now that our shaker is done, it's time to work on our sentiments. This is the new Let It Snow sentiment set. I just love it. I love snow-themed sentiments so much. Maybe it's because I'm from and I now live back in Montana. So starting off, I am stamping that cute little secondary sentiment that says glad we're friends, just in some black. And then to that same piece of cardstock, I am going to heat emboss the word snow. So I prepped it with some anti-static powder, and I'm just going to ink it up in some Versamark ink. I only show me stamping it once, but I'm pretty sure I stamped it twice to get a good impression. And then finally, I am using some gold pearl sparkle embossing powder to give it that nice light gold feel, but with a little sparkle. Because if you can't sparkle at Christmas and winter, when can you? Once I have applied all of the embossing powder, I am just heat setting it with my heat tool, just making sure to get all of that embossing powder melted, and that will really make the glitter shine. We are in the final stages here, friends. We've got to die cut the word snow with the coordinating die set, and then I'm using probably my most used die set, sentiment strips, to cut out the little secondary sentiment. Now I've gone ahead and created a white card base that I covered with a light purple cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue that ink blended image down. I cut down just slightly smaller than A2, and we're just gluing that directly to the card base. This card has quite a bit of dimension to it between the fact that I added some foam strips to that frame and then the foam strips and just the double layer of foam on the penguin shaker itself. This is a pretty thick card. So this might be one that you actually just tuck into a gift bag or put into a gift package, or if you're going to send it in the mail, you may want to send it in a padded envelope and just foot the extra bill. But in the end, it's cute enough to constitute all of that extra postage, right? Final step, we're just gluing the sentiment directly down to the penguin. I kind of off-centered it at first and then didn't love the off-center. So in the end, I centered it right underneath snow, and I think that worked out so much better. And no worries that a little glue got on the side. That will dry clear. Well, that is my cute little Snow Glad We're Friends penguin shaker card. I hope you enjoyed watching it come together today. As mentioned, this is part of the Pretty Pink Posh November release video hop, where there are tons of prizes to be won, one at each stop, actually, and of course, lots of inspiration to see. So everything you need is in my video description, including all of the blog hop links that you need, and also shopping links to this brand new release. I would love for you to shop from my links if you're inspired by what I do. Other than that, if you don't subscribe, I would love to have you if you enjoyed what you see. So like, subscribe, do all of the things. And other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day.